everyone, Kayla's Tarot here. Right, you guys, we're going to do your Valentine's Day special, so this is going to resonate pretty much between, I'm recording this on the 12th, so this will resonate between now and in the run-up to Valentine's Day and probably just after. I'm going to be looking at each sign throughout the water signs, each sign throughout air, fire, earth, so on, so on. And I'm going to be doing 4 different readings for each sign as to who you're dealing with, and we'll do it with the elements. I would have done it with every sign, but it's going to take me ages as it is, so I thought we'll just sort of say, you know, for example, I'm going to start with Scorpio, so you know, we'll do who's Scorpio dealing with, another water sign, air sign, earth sign and fire, and we'll sort of do it like that, okay? Right, so we'll do 4 different spreads for each sign. This is going to be fun. I did want to do a Valentine's Day special, and I was just sort of mulling over ideas as to how I can make it special. It's a special day as it is, I know. But anywho, right, I'll give them a real good shuffle. So we're going to start off with Scorpio dealing with water sign, okay? So Scorpio dealing with water. We've got the 8 of Cups, the Chariot, so especially if you're dealing with another Cancer, Scorpio, the 2 of Wands and the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Let's pop Romance Angel on that. Scorpio dealing with water sign. Romantic feelings. So yeah, I think Scorpio, if you're dealing with another water sign, especially if it's a Cancer, I think there's romantic feelings there, but there's this need to disconnect emotionally, because you may have started to get feelings for somebody where it be a false start, and maybe you have been in this period of ignorance is bliss. You know, if we ignore the elephant in the room, maybe it'll just go away. And I think you're probably realising at this point it's just not going away. So maybe it is time to disconnect and move on from this, okay? Right, let's take a look at Scorpio dealing with Earth. So Scorpio dealing with Earth sign. Scorpio dealing with an Earth sign. I've got the 8 of Wands reversed. The Lovers. The Wheel of Fortune with the King of Wands in the reverse. Let's pop a Romance Angel on that. Scorpio dealing with Earth. Pay attention to red flags, signs cautioning. So I think if you're Scorpio and you're dealing with an Earth sign, I think that this is a really sort of temperamental situation with the King of Wands being in the reverse. There may be kind of some kind of verbal abuse that's gone on between you and an Earth sign. But the Lovers, it's that union. But the thing is with the Lovers, there's always I mean, think about the Rider-Waite, there's a mountain between. Yes, it's guided. Yes, it's destined. Clearly, you may have had something to learn from this Earth sign. But at the same time, it's very temperamental. And I think it's temperamental for the fact that there's a mountain between you. So whether that be emotional distance, real distance, or whether, you know, again, there's some sort of barrier between you two that's actually stopping this materializing into something else, and that's why it's temperamental. And I think also with the 8 of Wands being in the reverse, again, it can be ignorance, it can be, but it's just not being able to voice what you need to say. It's not being able to say what you need to say because of this barrier. Okay, so but we do have the Wheel of Fortune, and this is getting a wheel turning again. So whether or not you continue to touch base with this person, you know, I kind of feel like with the Wheel of Fortune though, it's more about moving on from it, if I'm perfectly honest. And I think with the pay attention to the red flags, I think the red flag is the barrier between you two at this time. Okay, right, let's take a look at Scorpio dealing with a fire sign. So Scorpio is dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. Let's see. Got the Hierophant. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles. And what's these two? The 6 of Cups and the World. So I think that if you're dealing with a fire sign, there is a chance that commitment could be offered. I've got Retreat. I'll just put one more on that. And this could be the one. So yeah, I think if Scorpio's dealing with a fire sign, there's a chance that commitment's gonna be offered, and you know, we are looking at maybe a soulmate kind of connection. But also with the Six of Cups, it's about someone coming back around. So maybe you've already been on a journey with this person. Maybe you've already known them before, and you've come to the end of that journey. You've gone your separate ways. There's been this retreat, and then all of a sudden we're coming back around. Because this could sometimes also be a reconciliation card. So, and then I've got this could be the one. So I think if you've got a fire sign and things are starting to go really, really well, Scorpio, I would definitely sort of say, yeah, maybe this is the one. And it does look like for some of you, commitment's going to be offered. Right. Let's check out Scorpio with air. So Scorpio dealing with an air sign. Scorpio dealing with an air sign. So I've got the Sun and the Five of Pentacles with the Empress and the Two of Swords in the reverse. Okay, let's put Romance Angel on this for Scorpio dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Codependency. I think for some of you, shutting an air sign out, maybe for codependent reasons. So whether you've got somebody who's relied on you too much or walked all over you or whatever, which Scorpios don't take too lightly to, I think that you're shutting this person out. So I see in reality for what it really is. Taking the blindfold off, no longer rose tinted, no longer naive. We're actually sort of seeing this shit for what it really is. I think the emphasis is more about you nurturing yourself, if I'm honest, Scorpio. Right, let's move on and do Cancer. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Cancer dealing with a water sign, with another water sign. Cancer. Cancer's dealing with another water sign. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. What was that just flipped out? So I've got the Six of Cups reversed with the Three of Pentacles reversed. The Four of Cups in the reverse. And the King of Swords. Okay, Cancer. Some of you are just being reminded that someone... I've got the Passion card. One more on that, please. With true love. I think some of you, you're being reminded. Somebody who you've dealt with in the past that you don't really have great memories of. Okay, so this is somebody who's clearly messed you around. You're being reminded that you actually missed an opportunity to sort of learn some lessons from that said person. You know, this could have been just a passionate encounter with someone, or this was something you were extremely passionate about. You believed it was true love at the time and we got very much let down. Again, with the Four of Cups and the Three of Pentacles both reversed, you're being told you missed an opportunity to learn something from that person. So maybe some of you need that reality check with the King of Swords. You know, it's about being honest with yourself, really. In this sort of circumstance, at the end of the day, it's these kind of messages tend to show more so for those that are moving on or are with somebody else, but there are elements of a previous relationship in a negative way that are impacting something new or are going to impact something new. So it could be an indication some of you have already moved on or are about to move on, and you're just being warned, you know, don't take bad negative shit from your past into anything new. It's not going to serve you, okay? Right, let's see. Cancer's dealing with earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So Cancer, if Cancer's dealing with an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I've got the High Priestess reversed with the Six of Wands reversed. I've got the Five of Cups. And the King of Wands in the reverse. Religious factors. Let me pull one more. And also separation. So I think Cancer, if you've been dealing with an earth sign, you may not have been using your intuition. You may have actually naively gone into something here without realising what the consequences were. And I think the consequences were some sort of level of piss-taking behaviour, let's just put it like that. This is somebody who was very, with the King of Wands being in the reverse, temperamental, narcissistic, abusive even. But the thing is with the Six of Wands in the reverse, it's like they know what they're doing. So if they're ignoring you, if they're purposely messing you around, that's exactly what it is. They're doing it on purpose. So if you think someone's being ignorant, or you think somebody's acting up in a way, just know Spirit's trying to let you know they're doing it on purpose to wind you up. And the Five of Cups speaks of, don't get me wrong, it's crying over spilt milk, but it's also not realising the good that you still have around you. So maybe you've got some really good friends that you can rely on to help build you back up, etc, etc. And I think that with the separation card, this is just Spirit's way of saying, look, you know, you've been led astray a little bit here, and it's probably time to pull yourself away from this situation, all right? Religious factors, there could be, you may have felt spiritually drawn to this person. Maybe there were lessons to be learned. But other than that, I don't really feel like the religious factors card plays too much of a role in this. It may be for you personally, especially if there's a cultural difference, okay? Right. Cancer's been dealing with a fire sign. Cancer's been dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. Cancer's been dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. So if Cancer's dealing with fire signs, I've got the Two of Pentacles reversed with the Seven of Wands in the reverse. The Five of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. This is about shutting out bullshit and actually knuckling down and putting your priorities straight if you've been dealing with a fire sign. Yeah, I've got the honeymoon card and past life relationship. So I think you need to drop a previous relationship that's no longer serving you. Either this person shut you out or you've shut them out. And there's that need to just drop it now completely. The Two of Pentacles reversed, you may have been dropped or you've dropped them. Seven of Wands reversed, it's giving up. Literally, I've got 3 cards here all saying, shut out, give up, no longer dealing with this. And then the King of Pentacles, put priorities first. So this may be, you may have been dealing with a fire sign that's kind of had you sort of slipping a little bit. Let's just put it like that. The honeymoon card, put some distance between you and this person. And you know, like I say, with the past life relationship, this is somebody you've been with before. And this is obviously what I'm looking at here is a shutout of some kind, whether it be you or them. And they're saying, look, don't let it get to you. Don't let it bother you. Just drop it. Shut it out. We've got to start putting priorities first, okay? So they're saying that for a reason if you're dealing with fire sign. Right, let's take a look at Cancer dealing with air signs. Cancers dealing with air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Cancer's dealing with air signs. Okay, I've got 4 straight off the bat for Cancers dealing with air signs. The Knight of Cups reversed, the Page of Swords reversed, Strength reversed in the Tower. Okay, so it seems like some of you guys are having a bit of a sudden shake-up when it comes to dealing with jealous, obsessive, possessive behaviour, needy, clingy behaviour, okay? Whether that be you or them. Children card, so it could literally involve children. It could be baby mama, baby dada issue. I've got this could be the one as well. But I think that this is a case of we thought this could have been the one. Maybe you've got kids with them. And we've got this sort of sudden ending, but also with the Tower, it's that realisation that what you had with this person was built on a false foundation. You know, imagine your relationship with this person or dynamic with this person as the Tower. It's crumbling. It's falling apart. The best thing to do, let it fall apart, because then we can tear things back and start again, okay? I'm not saying necessarily with this person. For some of you, you will be starting again with this person. For others of you, you'll be moving on to something else. There could also be childish behaviour going on for the children card to come out. Now, like I say, with this really is letting your guard down with somebody who's needy, clingy, obsessive even, oppressive, you know, someone's pride's in the way. So this could be an indication of a bit of narcissistic, egotistical sort of behaviour going on with someone. And like I say, maybe this is just a harsh realisation, or maybe there's something that you've seen getting worse and worse over time. Whichever way it goes, if it's crumbling, Spirit's saying let it. The only way to start a game where clean slate is literally to have a clean slate. That's what they're saying, okay? Right then, let's move on and do Pisces. So, Pisces. Pisces dealing with other water signs. Scorpio counts Pisces. Pisces dealing with other water signs. Okay, what was that just flipped out? Death in the reverse. It's going against the grain. It's massive change, transformation needed, but you're kind of halting it. You may be in your head a little bit about this if you're dealing with another water sign. Queen of Wands in the reverse. I hate to see this card. It's very temperamental. It's very bitchy. It's very argumentative. And the Ace of Cups. So this definitely needs one more clarification. The Lovers in the reverse. So this is, for some of you, if you're dealing, Pisces dealing with another water sign, this may be something quite new, and you may have fallen quite hard for this person, only to find out that they're a temperamental piece of shit. And massive change, transformation is needed in order to take things to the next level. So maybe not so much piece of shit, but definitely argumentative and temperamental. I've got the Unrequited Love card, which is a bit of a contrast, really. Maybe this is the impression you get because of somebody's mentality, because of somebody's personality or character. Maybe you started to fall for someone here who you've absolutely, because don't forget with the Eight of Swords, this is mentality. This is thinking way too much, overanalyzing way too much. Maybe because somebody's acting a bit mean to you, you're absolutely certain that they must hate you. When in actual fact, I think that feelings are actually starting to grow, and maybe this temperamental dynamic actually may be a harsh way of flirting. It's weird for me to come out with that, I know, but I actually think that for a lot of you, if you're being upset by somebody, if they're another water sign, this may be a really harsh way of flirting. And I also get the feeling like a work dynamic, somebody treats, the old saying, treat 'em mean and keep 'em keen. I kind of feel like that's what somebody's playing at you with here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the tables turn very quickly over the coming weeks. I'll just leave that there. Somebody's behaviour that's temperamental needs to change, and they're preventing it from changing, and that's why this can't go to the next level, but it can if that changes. That's really what that's saying, okay? So let's move on and do Pisces with earth signs. So Pisces involved with the earth signs with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see. Pisces involved with, okay, I've got two here, the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands in the reverse. I've got the Sun with the King of Wands in the reverse. That King of Wands has been popular for the water signs, hasn't it? Let's see. Calling in a soulmate. Put one more on this for this. Oh, okay, these two came out. Retreat and Discover the One. Right, I think that for some of you, you're having to pull back from someone who you genuinely thought was the one if you're dealing with an earth sign, Pisces. I think you're seeing clearly, seeing reality for what it really is. Yes, you assumed they'd done something, and I think you found out the truth. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's as bad as what you thought it was, but it's still not brilliant, and it is a huge pot off. So you may have found out that someone that you're dealing with, if they're an earth sign, have done something or said something, and it's just not sitting well with you at all, and you're just like, do you know what, I don't even know if I want to sort of be here. I think you'll find that they think you're the one, but I think you pulling back is absolutely necessary. Now, don't get me wrong, this could be on the flip side. You thinking they're the one, but you may have done something or said something that doesn't sit well with them. Whichever way this goes, expect a pulling back and a bit of a timeout, okay? Because somebody's feeling a bit verbally battered and bruised here. Or their emotions are feeling a bit battered and bruised. It feels like disappointment, like someone's done something and the other's just so disappointed in that person. That's really what I see going on here during this time, okay? If you're dealing with an earth sign. Right, let's take a look at Pisces dealing with fire. So Pisces dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Pisces dealing with fire signs. I've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, High Priestess, one more please, And the Lovers in the reverse. This Lovers in the reverse has been coming out quite a lot as well for water signs. Healing family issues. So yeah, I think if you're dealing with another fire sign, I see a bit of a split, if I'm honest. If not, it's just some space. So the Nine of Pentacles, it's a very independent card, which is why in love readings a lot of people refer to it as the singleton card. It's just being able to stand on your own 2 feet. And with the Five of Swords, it's fighting a losing battle. So whether this is an argument or whether this is just the dynamic, fighting a losing battle. And the High Priestess, intuition's spot on at the moment. So if you're being urged to sort of move out of the way for a little bit of space, a little bit of a time out, then if that's what your intuition's telling you, it's the right thing to do. Because the Lovers is in the reverse, and it's that choice between heart and head. So maybe you're giving someone a bit of tough love here by just taking a step back to allow them to heal issues, or maybe you've got issues that you need to heal, and there could be a family dynamic attached to this as well. Okay, right, let's check out Pisces dealing with air signs, Gemini, Libras, Aquarians. So Pisces dealing with air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Pisces dealing with air signs. So I've got 2 here. So this 5 Pentacles reversed and the 2 of Swords reversed. The Knight of Cups in the reverse. And one more, please. Or 2 more. The Ace of Wands reversed and the 6 of Wands in the upright. Let's put a romance angel on this. Pisces dealing with air. Heart-to-heart conversations. One more, please. And passion. Okay, so I think Pisces, if you're dealing with air signs, I think I'm seeing a bit of a patch up here. So you may have been dealing with somebody who promised something and didn't deliver. And I think that all you've wanted is for them just to pay a bit more attention and to be a bit more attentive and to, you know, say what they mean and mean what they say, and no more letdowns and things like that. And I think it's created a bit of sort of, you know, maybe this person's, there's been an argument over jealousy because of the Knight of Cups being here in the reverse, you know. Maybe it's jealousy, needy, clingy behaviour even. It's childish behaviour, it's playing games basically. And I think that whoever you're dealing with, I feel like there's this sort of clash and, you know, but I quickly see you making up with the Five of Pentacles being in the reverse. And the Two of Swords, it's seeing reality for what it really is. So maybe you're realising, okay, maybe it was a bit petty and silly. I just see a really good heart-to-heart conversation over this where you're honestly discussing feelings about the situation with each other and how you can make it better and trying to find a way to resolve this as best as possible because you're still passionate about each other. There's still a lot of passion in this dynamic or in this relationship. It's just somebody is just sort of, like I say, there's a level of disappointment from this. Somebody said something and probably said it in jest, or somebody's promised something and not delivered. I just feel a lot of disappointment with this, okay? But I quickly see it being resolved. Right then, I'm quite happy at this point to move on to the earth signs and start with Taurus. Right, moving on to Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising. Right, Taurus dealing with water. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Oh, Taurus dealing with water. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. What we've got for that? 3 of Cups in the reverse. King of Swords. The 2 of Pentacles. I've got 2 cards here saying juggling. Chariot in the reverse. One more, please. And the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Okay. So I think that maybe either third party situation or, you know, it's something that, the thing is with the Chariot in the reverse, it's something that's not been able to move, not been able to get off the ground, not been able to establish. So we could be looking at sort of third party dating situation or something like that. And I think that one's trying to communicate, one's trying to sort of just communicate and sort of see where the water lies, but the other has cut this off. I think you're dealing with somebody who may have cut this off, Taurus. If it's a water sign, look, retreat. Either this is what you're doing or what they're doing. And I've got worth waiting for. One more, please. I've got the wedding card. I think for some, I mean, the wedding can indicate long-term relationships. So if this is somebody that, if it is a long-term relationship that I'm looking at here that you've been with water sign, or even a marriage of some sort. Maybe there has been third party shit going on, and maybe, you know, somebody's finding out. The thing is, like I say, with the Queen of Swords reverse, this is that cut off. This is that cut off point. I think someone's been trying to tell the truth about it. I think someone's been honest and upfront about it. And I think the others literally just like, cut this fucking shit off. I think with the worth waiting for card, and it does say divine timings at work in your love life. So maybe that's what the other person needs. Maybe they need time. Maybe they need time to sort of think about this and really adjust to this. Maybe it's you that needs time. Maybe, you know, especially if this wasn't quite a relationship or something that didn't quite get off the ground, maybe it's worth the wait for something more long term with this person. But like I say, it's never going to, this other person, or you even, if there is still juggling and third party shit going on, somebody's going to cut this shit right off. Whether that's, if you're being advised, if it's you that's dealing with someone who's a third party, seeing other people as well, you're being advised to cut it off. But also if it's the vice versa, you're being warned they may cut it off, and this person just needs some time, okay? And so do you. Right, let's see Taurus dealing with other earth signs. Taurus dealing with other earth signs. I've got the Temperance card with the Three of Pentacles. Oh, what was that? It just fell in my lap. The Star. And the Three of Wands. I think that this is something that's worth the wait. I've got codependency. What's that sticking out like a sore thumb? Let your friends help you. So for some of you, I think that this could be mutual. If you're dealing with another earth sign, this could be mutual feelings with a friend. This could be mutual feelings with somebody, a friend of a friend, someone who you've maybe met through friends. And I think that the codependency is more about the wait, really. Maybe we're getting really impatient and sort of, maybe it's more about dependency on this person being in your life, whichever way it goes. But I see it being very hopeful. I think that there's a lot that you can learn from this person. Maybe you've already learned a lot from this person, but I can say for certain that there's mutual feelings, and that there's a lot of hope on this turning into something more than it is, if, especially like I say with the friendship card, if it's either a connection through friends or if it is a friend, okay? Right, let's see Taurus dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So Taurus dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. What we got? I've got the Hierophant. The Death card, so this is the end of a commitment with a fire sign. The Six of Cups, so this person may bounce back around. I've also got the Nine of Cups. One more on this, please. The Three of Wands. I'm actually sort of seeing like a bit of a reconnection here with a fire sign, Taurus. I've got the Children card, so, you know, it could be baby mama, baby dada-ish sort of dynamic. What's that one? Finance and career. I think if you've got like a soulmate connection with someone that you know through work, and this person genuinely makes you happy, and there's a lot of good memories of this person, and I think maybe for some of you, if you're doing with fire sign, you may have been waiting for them. And maybe you guys at one point or another were committed and it ended, or maybe you just hoped for commitment with this person. But like I say, with the Death card being there, I definitely sort of see that there was an end. But with the Six Cups, because it's a reconciliation card as well, this is something coming back around with a fire sign. And like I say, especially if it's a baby mama, baby dada dynamic. And I think that maybe you've just been waiting for this person. Maybe you've been waiting for them to change or transform the situation. Actually see some of you actually taking the reins instead of waiting for them to do it, okay? Right, let's take a look at Taurus dealing with air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So, Taurus is dealing with air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I've got the Eight of Swords reversed. The Three of Wands again, so, you know, showed up, you know, in just about every single one of the Taurian spreads. There's a lot of waiting around. And I just want to say something about that for all Taurians, really, because the Three of Wands showing up for just about all of you. for whoever you're dealing with. This waiting around thing, because it's shown up 4 times for the Taurus, I'm starting to think, you know, if so, a lot of you been waiting for something, and it's just waiting, and it's not coming. Maybe some of you guys need to take the reins and sort that out. Queen of Pentacles reversed. And the Three of Cups in the reverse. This is sticking out as well, the Sun. I think for some of you guys, there's this sort of realisation that where you actually finally know where you stand with somebody. Maybe you find out that they are seeing other people or dating other people. Queen of Pentacles reverse, so it's that lack of focus. So maybe you realise someone's just not been focused on you for that reason. And I think that it's a case of get out of your head. There's no need to continue waiting around for this. You now know where you stand. You know, you're not, this isn't anything exclusive, sort of. And I think the honeymoon card puts some distance between you and this person. You know, if they're messing you around, I think you really thought they were a soulmate connection though, didn't you? And that's why this hurts. That's why this hurts. And that's why you may have been over analytical about this. Again, I just feel like it's just a need to let it go. Okay? Right then. So, let's see. Virgo. Let's check out Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Virgo. Virgo's dealing with other water signs. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. 8 of Wands in the reverse. Virgo and water. The Death in the reverse. 9 of Pentacles reversed. And the King of Pentacles, okay? So think if Virgo's dealing with water sign, we're fighting against the grain here because we don't want to be on our own. I think for some of you, you sort of carrying on, or not clinging, but hanging on to someone here. In a dynamic where there's a lot of ignorance, a lot of messing around, a lot of ghosting, a lot of miscommunication and misunderstandings. And, you know, there's a need to pull back from this, but you're not, because I think for some of you, you sort of just don't want to be on your own. Maybe it passes the time, but at the same time, I do see this leaning more towards something that could become toxic. So I think some of you are being warned here just to let it go. Finance and career in tandem with the King of Pentacles is probably someone that you've worked with, or there's a connection to work in some way. Let me see, what's that? I've got the wedding card, so maybe this person's married. Some of you could be dealing with somebody who's married or in a long-term commitment elsewhere, and that's why they're not talking consistently. That's probably why there is this level of ignorance going on, okay? So I will probably put it down to a mistake and just sort of, yeah, we have to get over this. All right, let's see. Virgo's dealing with other earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Virgo's dealing with other earth signs. I've got the Three of Pentacles with the Three of Cups in the reverse. So this is learning lessons from some strange reason. For Virgo's dealing with, I've got 3 threes here. I think it's definitely that we're looking at third party situation here for Virgo's dealing with other earth signs. Whether it's actual cheating going on, or whether somebody's seeing multiple people at the same time, dating, you know, multiples at the same time. The 9 of Cups reverse, this is very emotionally draining. And with the Three of Swords, it's a fresh wound and it's really painful. So I think you may have been sitting back and sort of watching this play out, and it's painful. It's painful. I've got the moon, so that definitely needs clarifying. So what's hidden from Virgo's view side is the fact that it's a false start. Okay, so some of you are definitely dealing with someone that is literally cheating, or that's seen multiple people at the same time, and you've sat back and you've watched this happen. You know, I think you've realised very, very quickly, or there's been honesty about it, you know, that it's not exclusive for that reason. You know, somebody's dipping their toes in several different ponds at the same time, and I think that Virgo's just sat there like, yeah, this is painful, this hurts, this is very emotionally draining. I think you're being told, you know, the one thing that you're not considered is the fact that you're being used. I've got the religious factors card, so there could be cultural differences, religious differences, but you've got feelings for this. See, my intuition's never wrong. There's feelings that have established here, which is why it's so hard for you to release this other earth sign, Virgo. But again, you're just being told, look, you're being used a little bit here, so just wake up a little, you know. Right. Don't get me wrong, these won't resonate for all of you, so don't bitch in my comments about it. These are generals, and you know, Spirit's always going to throw out the most important message that folk need to hear at this specific time. So, Virgo's dealing with fire signs. Virgo's dealing with fire signs. Empress reversed. Well, that's your card, Virgo. And the Eight of Wands in the reverse as well. Page of Pentacles reversed. And the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Separation. Right, so some Virgos are dealing with fire signs. For some of you, not all of you, I'm getting that there may be, I hate to use the word unwanted, but that's how this is coming across. Not on your part, on somebody else's. Or it could be vice versa, who knows. But there's some sort of an unwanted pregnancy here. It's like one wants it, the other doesn't, and that's where ignorance comes into play. And I think that maybe we're expecting a hell of a lot more than that, and I get a sense of disappointment, you know, at this sort of big separation that's gone on. For others of you, this is something that you've been nurturing, and the other person hasn't. And I think the reason why the Seven of Swords is in the reverse, because it was this, for those that it wasn't an actual exclusive partnership. This was sort of getting to know someone, seeing where it goes. There may have been sleeping together going on, and somebody's completely cut contact. And, you know, we're right at the point when we expected something a bit more, you know. So if you've been seeing someone or sleeping with someone for quite some time and you're half expected to go to the next level, that's when it's cut off. It's very, very disappointing. And I think that you're feeling this separation, and I think it hurts even more because feelings do develop. And I just think that some of you are being told to pull away at this point and accept it for what it is. Right, let's see. Virgo's dealing with air signs. So, Virgo's dealing with air signs. Virgo dealing with air signs. Well, there's the air sign. King of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune. The Ace of Wands in the reverse. And the Ace of Cups in the reverse. I've got here healing family issues and finances and career. So whether it's the career that's a factor in this, if you work with each other, or finances. Look at the bottom of the deck, Judgment. I don't know why I felt the need to look at that, but I think it needs to be there, doesn't it? Right, my intuition told me that with Ace of Cups being in the reverse, that a second chance is highly likely, but we need this honest conversation about the false start that went on here, and I do feel like this can take a turn for the better, but it's delayed at this point, probably because somebody's got family issues going on, or they need to heal. Maybe they need to heal the finances, and that's why this couldn't get off the ground. But I like the fact that we have the King of Swords, because it is a brutally honest conversation where it's literally like, look, I didn't mean to lead anyone on. I just can't take this any further at this point, and that's why it's a false start. But like I say, I've got a funny feeling this is just delayed. You guys will actually be able to sort of take this to the next level at a later date. Someone's just got some healing to do, okay? Virgo's dealing with air signs, so there's a bit of positivity there for the Virgos, I suppose. Right then, let's move on and do Capricorn. So, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Capricorn. Dealing with water signs. Capricorn dealing with water signs. So again, these two just came out. Could be a similar kind of reading. Who knows? The Three of Wands reversed. And the Three of Swords, maybe not. 2 3s reversed, maybe not. So, I've got true love. I've got passion. So I think what this is, it may be, because the Ace of Wands is reversed, maybe this is a passionate encounter that's kind of ended up going the wrong way. So maybe somebody, I feel like someone's mistaken a passionate encounter for a lot more than it actually was. And I feel like whoever you're dealing with, if they're a water sign, they're actually, you know, if you ask the right question, you're going to get the right answer. I.e., you know, yeah, we slept together, is anything else going to happen? I think they're going to be straight up and just say no, no point in waiting around. And I think that this hurts, this really hurts. So just, I think if it hadn't already happened, just be careful, because you could get weighing over your head about this, because we've got the True Love card and it just feels like a dramatized version of reality. That's the way that this feels to me. Don't shoot the messenger. I have to go with my intuition, okay? But that's the way that this is coming across, and I feel like a reality check's needed. And I think if you actually ask this person, what the hell was that? I think they're going to be straight up with you and just say, you know, I had fun, it was great, but I just don't want to take it any further. And I think that you'll probably get that kind of response, okay? So don't wait around for this, and don't allow it to hurt you that much if that's the case. Right, let's see. Capricorn's dealing with other earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Capricorn's dealing with other earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I've got the Magician with the Temperance in the reverse. This is trying to manifest something where you're both not on the same page about it, okay? If you're dealing with another earth sign, Capricorn. Yeah, Queen of Cups in the reverse. This is an emotional detachment, and it's being emotionally unstable as well. And the Queen of Swords, a reality checks needed, negotiations needed. Okay, so some good news with the Six of Cups. It can be negotiated. So I think if you've been dealing, like, I think, let me see what romance angels. Capricorn dealing with, pay attention to the red flags. Signs are cautioning you. And playfulness. So I think that if you're dealing with another earth sign, Capricorn, this actually started off as something a little bit more playful than you imagined it. And maybe somebody has got a bit in over their head about where this is actually going. I think it needs to go a hell of a lot slower. Something can manifest. I just feel like it needs to go a lot slower than it has done. And I think if we negotiate the terms of this, it's highly likely that you'll be able to get this relationship with this other earth sign back on track. I think that there are definitely issues. And I think if you're... I think it's with the Temperance reverse, it's about not being on the same page with somebody, and here it's emotionally. So maybe somebody just needs a bit more time for emotional feelings to develop, and they're just quite happy this being playful and getting to know each other at this point. And I think a lot of the red flags that are going on are maybe a bit too much enthusiasm, you know, more than anything. Right. So just keep things going slow and steady. It wins the race. Right, Capricorn's dealing with fire signs. Capricorn's dealing with fire signs. Five Pentacles in the reverse. Someone who shut someone out is coming back around. Somebody who cheated and left a wound that took a long, long time to heal. High Priestess, your intuition is spot on about if your intuition is telling you why this person's coming back around, I'd listen to that, because it seems like you may lose confidence in this person, and for good reason. So, Sun in the reverse. Okay, you never really fully knew where you stood with this person, and it did cut like a knife, and it took some time to get over. And I'm not convinced that you're fully over this person, and they come back around, and I just feel like you've no confidence in them whatsoever, and they may have knocked your confidence as well. Like I say, your intuition is going to tell you exactly why they're back around. And there we go. Trust in that intuition, my wonderful Capricorns, if you're dealing with a fire sign. Right. Because you probably still not know where you stand with this person. Don't put yourself in a situation that you can't get out of again. Okay? Right. Capricorn's dealing with air signs. Capricorn's dealing with air signs. So I've got the King of Swords, which is the air sign. The Ten of Swords reversed. The Ace of Wands. The Queen of Swords with the Eight of Pentacles. I'm seeing a lot of hard work and effort being put into something here where someone's still got some healing to do. Whether it be you or them. And I think that there's an honest conversation absolutely needs to take place, and you guys need to negotiate the terms of where this goes, really. Because like I say, a lot of hard work and effort, and it's first, you know, it's hot, it's passionate, it's quite nice. You know, we've definitely, if you're dealing with another air sign, especially if you're sleeping with them, the sex is shit hot. But, and it could be a soulmate connection, because I've got a king and a queen here, and it's usually it's sort of a connection on the soul level. It's based on the element. That's the way I read it anyway. You know, so this is very intellectual. You've got a lot in common with this person, so it naturally should be a good fit. Yeah, again, this is what I mean with the soul connection, past life relationship. You feel like you've known them before, and they're worth waiting for. They've just got a lot of healing to do. So if you're dealing with another air sign, it's promising. It's definitely promising. Both prepared to put in effort. It's very mutual. It's hot. It's passionate. It's fiery. But somebody's got some mental healing to do, okay? And I just feel like it's worth the wait. So maybe if we just sort of slow this down, maybe it was going too fast. Don't forget, with fire, it's fast movement with fire and action. I just feel like if we just sort of continue putting effort in, continue getting to know each other on that really good intellectual, passionate level, but just bear in mind that someone's got some shit that they're dealing with, and they just need time and patience as well, and understanding. You know, a king and a queen of swords, this needs mutual understanding. But otherwise, I actually do see this able to go to the next level, as long as there's that level of understanding there, okay? Right then, I'm happy at this point to move on to the fire signs, and I'm going to start with Aries. Right, moving on to Aries. So, fire signs. Aries, sun, moon, rising. Aries dealing with water signs. Let's see. 3 of Pentacles reversed. 6 of Wands, what's that? 5 of Wands reversed. And the Wheel of Fortune. Romance angel for Aries. Okay. 2, we've got 2. So we've got love yourself first, and we've also got children. So, yeah, oh, I've just dropped all my bloody cards, you guys. Just bear with. Trust me to do that. Right then. So, yeah, it looks like you could be dealing with someone here where the thing is with the 3 of Pentacles and the reverse is that refusal to learn lessons from the past in love terms. That's the way I see it anyway. So I think if you're dealing with someone childish, or you can accept for yourself that you may have been acting a little bit childish with someone, again, attention and recognition on that one particular thing is absolutely needed, Aries. You know, again, it's about looking back and saying, yeah, you know, things could have been different, and you know, it's about taking responsibility for your part when it comes to 3 of Pentacles reversed, you know, in what changes that you need to make and accepting that. And that's where the attention and recognition is really sort of needed in that area. And the thing is with the 5 of Pentacles reversed, I mean, in the upright, it's putting up a fight, but it can also be competition. But in this case, it's about putting up a fight for something in order to get your wheel turning for the better. And maybe this just being reversed is just an indication maybe you've not been fighting hard enough for better. So that could be an indication of many things in your love life, like you've been putting up with people that are way below par. You could have been dealing with people who have been walking all over you and treating you like shit. Whatever this is, there's some sort of a repetitive pattern, that's what I'm trying to say, in terms of your love life. You know, maybe you're going for overly childish people. Maybe you're going for, you know, people who don't respect you or, you know, adore you. You know, when people go into relationships, you don't do it for it to be temporary. You do it really for it to be long term. And when the shit really does hit the fan, you get that element of disappointment. But in this case, the specific changes that Spirit's pointing out here that you totally could be making, and you really are overlooking it. They're just saying pay more attention to the past to better understand why you're in the now. And make those changes, Aries. It's absolutely needed. And that's why we have the love yourself first card, because this is a way of loving yourself first. Says your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Start aiming higher. That's what they're saying, okay? Right, let's, that's for water sign. Aries dealing with water, by the way. Right then, let's see. So, obviously, I didn't quite say what I should have said then, but yeah, that was for Aries dealing with water. Let's see Aries dealing with earth. Right, Aries dealing with earth signs, Aries dealing with earth signs. So, Five of Pentacles reversed. There's the Empress. Oh, 3. Yeah, the Lovers, the Ten of Swords reversed, and the Ace of Wands, Aries, if you're dealing with earth signs. Oh, 2 just fell out. Past life relationship and worth the wait. So I think if you're dealing with earth signs, particularly if it's a Virgo, basically I've got this sort of passionate new start with someone, but there are barriers, and the barrier is the fact that one of you's not healed from an ex. And maybe one of you's got an ex that keeps bouncing back around and it's just interfering. And I think with the Empress, you know, again, you've nurtured something here and you've not nurtured it for it to be temporary. So I think that you're quite, I think you and whoever you're dealing with are quite happy to sort of wait it out and wait and let this time pass because it's worth the wait. And that there is a past life connection here. And I do feel with the Lovers that it's guided, but again, there's this mountain between, there's this barrier in the way. Because I always pay attention to imagery, that's the thing in all my readings. I always pay attention to imagery of the cards, and I take imagery from other decks into different decks. You know, I'm using the Golden at the moment, but whenever I see the Lovers, I always think of the Rider-Waite and how they've got the guy, you know, the guided angel above them, but they've also got that mountain between them. And I always see the Lovers as a bit of a barrier in a way, and it's also that choice between heart and head. Maybe that is the barrier for some of you, but with the Ten of Swords being in the reverse, one of the major barriers that's going on between you and whoever you're dealing with is not mentally getting over, you know. And when I say that, you know, basically what I mean is the way that maybe an ex from a previous relationship has left you feeling. For example, if there's rejection issues, trust issues, insecurity issues, we're dragging that into something else here and it's not healthy. That's really what Spirit's just trying to point out there, okay? Right, let's see Aries dealing with other fire signs. Aries dealing with other fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries dealing with other fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. So I've got the Page of Swords reversed. The Ace of Swords reversed. The Three of Wands. Oh, 2 here. The Knight of Cups with the 8 of Wands there. Let's throw some romance angels on this. Reconciliation. So I think Aries that are dealing with the fire signs, I think you're reconciling. I do have a little bit of a problem with the Ace of Swords being in the reverse. Maybe things have become a bit, the way I mean, I'm running on intuition because I know the Ace of Swords in reverse can mean a lie. Maybe there has been lies between you, I don't know. But I'm looking at this and it doesn't feel overly negative, you know, and I'm starting to think, is this more about trying to get something back on track and sort of, it's got boring. That's the feeling I get when I hold this. You know, I think of the upright, it's about new perspective. It's about a new way of thinking about something to get those changes going. But again, I mean, in the reverse, it just feels boring. Like there's no real change going on. And like I said before, maybe there have been some lies and those changes, again, still just haven't been made. But I think we're sort of waiting to let our guard down. I think maybe you've got a guard up here with someone, you know, with this other fire sign that you're dealing with. It's like we want things to sort of get back to basics, get back to where they were, and we're talking about it, but I'm just seeing a lack of, for one, motivation in a way, but for two, sort of communication just feels very boring. It's like we're reconciling, we're getting back on track, but it just feels very boring. You know, and it's like we're trying to let a guard down, but we've still got reservations maybe over someone's lies in the past. Maybe that's why it's just difficult. Maybe it's less boring and more difficult. Whichever way it goes, I do see a reconciliation for Aries dealing with the fire signs. Right, let's see Aries dealing with air signs. Right. Aries dealing with air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see. So I've got the world in reverse. It indicates unfinished business. Aries with air signs. The Fool. The Hierophant in the reverse. Death in the reverse and the Chariot in the reverse. Okay, makes perfect sense. I've got religious factors. And I've also got heart-to-heart conversations. So, with the religious factors, it can feel spiritually guided. It can feel a bit divine. Otherwise, there literally is cultural or religious differences between you and whoever you're dealing with. So I think for some of you, when it comes to air signs, some of you may feel like you've got unfinished business with an air sign, and we've not been able to change anything, we've not been able to transform anything, we've not been able to move on until this unfinished business is dealt with. So some of you are feeling really stuck and stagnant, and I think that, you know, we're sort of really yearning for a heart-to-heart conversation with this person to try and find out exactly what that unfinished business is. So some of you may have been shut out by someone here. But again, with the Fool, it's about taking a leap of faith. It's about taking a chance. So maybe Spirit's really trying to tell some of you here, look, if you really feel that drawn to this person and you really do feel like there's unfinished business, then, you know, ask and you'll get the right question. You know, ask the right question, you get the right answer. Maybe this person's going to be upfront enough with you to actually let you know where you stand, or, you know, let you know what the hell's going on and why there's unfinished business, what needs finishing. Do you need closure, or do you feel that there's more to be had from this person? Some of you just need to outright ask. And, you know, I just want to point out I've got 3 major arcana in the reverse here. This is majorly stuck and stagnant. We're not moving on. We're, you know, I sense even a little bit of depression on this. Some of you just really do need to get closure, and if you're not getting it from the other person, ask for it. If you still don't get it, move on. Right, now I'm moving on. Let's take a look at Leo. So Leo dealing with all the water signs. Leo dealing with other water signs. Let's see, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces for Leo. Got the 5 of Cups. It's about crying over spilt milk. 3 cups are spilt, but 2 still stand. The 10 of Cups. The Queen of Cups reversed. Well, there's that water sign. And the 9 of Cups. One more, please. Page of Swords in the reverse. So I think that whoever you're dealing with is trying to let their guard down with you. I think that you know, there is a happy sort of dynamic, especially if it's a family dynamic I'm looking at here, Leo, if you're dealing with a water sign. And I think that if there has been arguments, if there has been a bit of emotional instability going on, someone's crying over spilt milk and really does need to be more concerned with what they've got with rather than what they haven't got, okay? So gratitude, in other words, whether it's you that needs to be grateful for what you've got rather than what you haven't, or I've got new love. So again, reconciliation. Maybe, I mean, this looks to me like finding a new way to love each other. You know, coming back together after a period of separation, arguments, strife, a break, whatever this is. And again, it's that sort of happy family dynamic with the 10 of Cups. It's an emotional pinnacle. It's someone who makes you really, really happy. You know, and you're otherwise really, really happy together, but one of you seems to be more concerned with what you've not got rather than what you have got, you know, and there's just this level of ungratefulness. And I think that someone needs to let their guard down and just let whatever silly emotional issues go, or at the very least talk about it. I just feel like some of you need a new way, find a new way to love each other, you know what I mean? Because I actually see an otherwise happy relationship here. Right, let's see Leo's dealing with earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Leo's dealing with earth signs. Okay, what just flew out? The Ace of Wands. The 9 of Pentacles. The 7 of Swords. And the Queen of Cups reversed again. With heart-to-heart conversations, and religious factors. So again, I feel like some of you that are dealing with earth signs may feel very sort of guided and drawn to someone because they're different. And I think that I think that this basically looks to me like either a one-night stand or someone that you may be sleeping with on and off, where the other has got no intention of taking this further and actually prefers their single life, and the other feeling very led down the garden path. It's not that it's a false start, because I don't feel like anything's promised here. I feel like there's a misunderstanding. And I think that's why the heart-to-heart conversations is about. It's almost like you sleep together, but there's no way this is moving to anything further. And I feel like once you actually ask, you get an honest answer. But again, because we have the Seven of Swords in the upright, this just feels like some of you could be led on by an earth sign here, and you just need to know. You need to be put in the Rembrandt, really, and know where you stand. And that's why I suggest, if this hasn't already occurred, I mean, if this has already occurred, you know, if you're unsure, just ask. You're going to get an honest answer, I think. But if this hasn't occurred yet, just be aware. Somebody, you know, if you're going to sleep with an earth sign, just know that you're probably not the only person that they're sleeping with, okay? And I feel like they will be honest with you about that. Right, let's see. Leo's dealing with fire signs. Leo's dealing with other fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries dealing with fire signs. Okay, what we got here? I've got the Six of Wands reversed, the Hangman, and the King of Pentacles in the reverse as well. And the Five of Swords. One more on this, please. And the Knight of Cups. I think for some of you, you're dealing with someone who's a bit larger than life as to what they're prepared to give. But it feels lazy. I've got worth waiting for. And I've also got trust. I just noticed that at the bottom of the deck, the reconciliation card. So I think maybe some Leos are reconciling with a fire sign. But I think that you're on the fence about whether or not it's actually worth it. Because I've got the Hangman with the Five of Swords. And this really is, you know, do we or don't we? It's that sort of being on the fence about it. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm open to whatever, but you're still on the fence. You're still on the fence because you're yet to see results. I think whoever it is that you're dealing with is the King of Pentacles reversed. I know we're looking at other fire signs here, but I think this is the energy of someone you're dealing with. Somebody who's quite self-centered and selfish. And I kind of feel like, again, with the Knight of Cups, running in tandem with this is like, you know, the knight in shining armour is riding on his horse, but he's a bit of a damn show off in the sense of what he's got to give. I've got a funny feeling that this knight may be promising more than they can actually deliver. And I just think that some of you are not naive to this whatsoever. You may have already, because we've got the reconciliation card, you may have already dealt with this kind of energy from this very person before. And I think with the Six of Wands, one of the biggest issues here is surrounding affection and attention, you know, whether that be from you or them. And the others just sort of like I say, someone's on the fence here for the sheer fact that certain issues that said they were going to be corrected to get this back on track. Maybe earning trust is one of these things, you know, that we've been waiting for and we think it's worth the wait. I still think it's worth the wait, like, but I just think somebody's got a lot of lessons to learn and they're not learning them. And I think that you've given a window of opportunity to someone to change their ways to get this back on track. And yet you just sat there waiting for results, waiting. Again, I think with the worth waiting for card, it's a bit of a ray of hope to say, look, bit more time, this person might change. But, you know, again, some of you just feel like you're fighting a losing battle here. And it's debatable as whether you actually will continue waiting, okay? It's debatable. So just be aware of that things may not change anytime soon. Right, Leo's dealing with air signs. Leo's dealing with air signs. So I've got the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Again, a lack of effort. The Ace of Swords. The King of Cups and the Hermit. I think if Leo's dealing with air signs in particular, I think someone needs to take a step back to see how they really truly feel about you. I've got the soulmate card here. In tandem with the King of Cups, yeah. Religious factors has come out again. So whether it feels spiritually guided, again, soulmate connection, or whether there is a cultural or religious difference between you and this person. With the Hermit, this is someone, and the King of Cups, this is somebody who takes a step back to really ponder and figure out exactly what it is that they want, and in this case, it's how they feel about a particular person. So whether it's you taking a step back to realise whether or not this is your soulmate, or whether it's them taking a step back to realise whether or not you're their soulmate, Leo. And again, that's why there's a lack of effort. I feel like the Ace of Swords is just the reality check. And like I say, I'm just seeing a bit. If some of you are wondering why someone's took a step back, why it feels like, you know, there's not as much contact and it's fizzling out, it's because somebody is taking a step back for a bit of breathing space and to really truly figure out if you're what they want, okay? Right, let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's start with Sagittarius dealing with water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So, Sagittarius. High Priestess reversed. The Page of Cups reversed. The Knight of Cups. And what's this one sticking out? The Queen of Cups. Okay. So, I've got the Page, the Knight, and the Queen. So there's your water sign, Sagittarius, with stay optimistic. I think that you're optimistic about where something's going with a water sign. But I think this water sign's very larger than life, knight in shining armour kind of effect. But just be aware, they are really picky about who they hand that cup of love to. And they're also intuitive, whereas your intuition may not be spot on, theirs is. You can't pull the wool over this water sign's eyes if she's coming across the Queen of Cups. Absolutely not. But I think that you yourself have got your reservations about this water sign. And I feel like there may be a bit of mirroring going on here, like you're both trying to work each other out. And I think that's why the Page of Cups is reversed. It's that losing confidence in someone. Maybe because they may be extremely flirtatious. The thing is with the Knight of Cups, whenever I see the Knight of Cups, I always wonder, is this a really showing off kind of flirtatious kind of person, and the other's just not too keen on that? So whether you're the Knight of Cups or they are, the other's not keen on that. But there is optimism here. And I think that if there are any problems about someone's behaviour and whether or not they're overly flirty with certain people, maybe it's worth just bringing it up and just in a positive way. Listen, positive thinking of faith is going to bring romance in the situation. And again, maybe it's worth just sort of touching base on it to say, you know, I love how outgoing you are, but, you know, it's just a little bit too flirty, too friendly, you know what I mean? And just test the waters that way if you're dealing with a water sign, okay? Right. Let's see, Sagittarius dealing with earth signs. Sagittarius dealing with earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see. So, Three of Pentacles in the reverse. With the Ace of Cups in the World. And the King of Swords reversed. One more, please. Or two more, sorry. The Star reversed with the Chariot. Look, pessimism is going to be your downfall. So I think that a lot of you are actually sort of trying to move on from an earth sign into new love with somebody else. And I think that's why we have the World. The only problem that I've got, and this is the reason why this is showing up in your reading for earth signs. I've got this could be the one. I think that for some of you with playfulness, someone you thought was the one actually turned out to be no more than a bit of fun and a bit of playfulness. And I think you're trying to sort of move on here to new love, but we've got a lot of pessimism going on here, okay, because of this sort of situation ending with this earth sign that you thought was more than it was. And I think with the King of Swords in the reverse, maybe they weren't quite honest with you about exactly what it was that they wanted. And if there was elements of naivety in that, don't take that into anything new with anyone else. And this could also be an indication that for some of you that are moving on from an earth sign may very well meet another earth sign, okay? Right, let's check out Sagittarius with other fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Sagittarius dealing with other earth signs. Oh. Page of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Swords reversed. And the Magician. I've got separation and pay attention to the red flags. So I think that for some fire signs that have been dealing, some Sagittarians that have been dealing with the fire signs, I think that for some of you, you're trying to move on from a fire sign, and I think you're trying to make amends with a single life moving forward. And I actually don't think that any of you are really wanting to manifest relationships, and rather wanting to manifest more independence and sort of, you know, getting back on your feet, getting back on track. You know, you paid attention to red flags. You may have caught a rat out or something like that, and sort of seen someone's true colours, and you separating yourself from that situation. And that's why the Nine of Swords in the reverse, because we're moving past that nightmare period where you've overanalyzed it, you've lost sleep, it's stressed you out, and you're like, you know what? No, I'm quite happy to sort of get myself back on track. So I'm not actually seeing anything overly in the love department for those that have just been dealing with other fire signs at this time. Obviously, like I say, it's a general, so it won't resonate for every single one of you. And if you haven't received your message today, check out your Moon, your Rising during this video. Either go back or fast forward, or go see if another reader on YouTube has the right messages for you this time. Right, Sagittarians dealing with air signs. Sagittarius dealing with air signs. I've got the Page of Cups reversed with the Three of Swords reversed. So this is someone who truly broke your heart, and it's been a right struggle to get over. Someone who maybe you were committed to and found out that maybe they weren't so committed to you. And you, the lovers in the rest, see a broken down union between you two. And I just see you losing confidence very quickly. I've got the Passion card. So maybe there's a chance religious factors have come out. That card's been coming out quite a lot just lately. So again, could be religious or cultural differences, which may highlight exactly who these messages are for. But also, with the Passion card, this could be somebody who you've never truly gotten over because the Three of Swords is in the reverse. Maybe we've got a lacking confidence, a lacking self-esteem with the Page of Cups being in the reverse. And to see the Passion card, I'm wondering if some of you that have been screwed over by someone, has that exact someone come back around at this time for no good. Let's just put it like that. And I think that if some of you are lacking in confidence, you may take the bait. You're being advised not to. Because if this person's messed you around once already, they're likely to do it again, and that's why this can end up being left an open wound. You know, in the upright, yeah, it's a fresh wound, but, you know, there's hope to heal. In the reverse, this is lingering. And I think that for some of you, I mean, I was reminded quite kindly by someone on, I can't remember if it was the Sag vid or the Leo vid, that we're in Mercury retrograde, so a lot of people have got shitty exes coming back around. I think you just need to sort of maybe work on those levels of confidence, self-respect, self-esteem, to actually stand your ground and tell someone to fuck off, okay? Right. Let's see. Right, I think we're moving on at this point because that was for air sign. That was for Sag dealing with air signs, yeah. Right, moving on to the air signs, and I'm going to move on next to Libra. Right then, Libra. Let's do Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Libra. Right, Libra's dealing with water signs. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. We've got the Queen of Wands reversed. The Eight of Wands reversed. Three of Wands reversed. And the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Right, I think for Librans dealing with the water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, there may be somebody temperamental, some temperamental arguments going on that resulted in this communication cut off. Past life connection, someone that you may have been with maybe on and off. I've got the honeymoon card, so there's definitely a need for some distance, okay? So it seems like there may have been arguments, it's a bit temperamental, there's shit going down, verbally, getting nothing. I think with the Three of Wands being there, it's basically saying, stop waiting around and finally turn this card the other way around and disconnect emotionally from this person. It's time to put some distance between you and this person. This may be one of those situations that can't be fixed and that actually someone needs to walk away at this point. And again, with the past life relationship card, you guys may have been on and off for some time, okay? Won't resonate for every single one of you, so don't bitch in my comments about it, please. Right, let's see. Libra's dealing with earth signs. Libra's dealing with earth signs. Libra's dealing with earth signs. I've got the Knight of Pentacles, so there's the earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The Three of Pentacles. The Eight of Wands in the upright. And, oh, two here. Ten of Cups reversed with the Six of Pentacles. So, for some of you that are dealing with earth signs, there may be, you may be dealing with somebody who's, either you or yourself has come away from a broken family unit. And we're trying to do the right thing, especially when it comes to time and finances, when it comes to children and equal share. It's safe for you to love. Oops, what was that? I'm worth waiting for. Yeah, I think that with the Three of Pentacles, it's about learning to actually sort of adapt to that kind of dynamic with someone. So if some of you, you've broken away from a family unit and you're moving on and taking it slow with somebody else, or this is who you're dealing with. And like I say, there's really fast communication, and maybe it's feeling, because the thing is with the Eight of Wands, it is fast and it can be rushed. And I think that maybe someone's wanting to just slow things right down for the sheer fact that there is this broken down family unit that we have to deal with. And I think that's why they're saying, look, it's safe to love this person and to continue with this person, but we do have to slow things down, and it is a bit of a wait, but it's going to be worth it, okay? Right. Let's check out Libra's dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Libra's dealing with fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Two of Pentacles. The King of Swords. The Emperor in the reverse. And the Three of Swords reversed, and also the Four of Cups. So I think for some Librans that are dealing with fire signs, Aries in particular, I think that we've got sort of this passion card. I think for some of you it's a third party situation, because I've got a Three of Swords in the reverse along with the Two of Pentacles, and I think that this is juggling. So whether you're aware of it or not, somebody is definitely taking advantage of the situation. And I think that it's time that maybe you took on the energy of the King of Swords and actually sort of brutally honestly give yourself a reality check. Sometimes this is more about being honest with yourself, with this being the king and the master of the suit. And I think that with the Four of Cups, what's being offered isn't accepted for this very reason. It's a potentially third-party situation, and if this is just about sex, then that's exactly what this is. Maybe somebody, because the thing is with the Emperor reversed, he abuses his position. He takes advantage. He takes the piss. So this could be somebody that may be using you for sex. Again, like I say, if you're sort of wondering why what you're offering to this particular person just isn't being accepted, maybe this is the answer. Third party, okay? Right. Like I said, keep saying, may not resonate for every single one of you. Oh, right. Let's do Librans dealing with other air signs. Librans dealing with other air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So I've got the Four of Pentacles reversed. The Fool reversed. The Ace of Pentacles. And the Three of Wands. I've got calling in a soulmate. One more on that, please, for Librans dealing with air signs. Past life relationship. So I think for Librans, if you're dealing with their air signs, somebody wants to offer commitment to someone here. And and I just don't feel like, I feel like someone lets it slide. In other words, it's almost as if it's offered, but someone doesn't say they're actually accepting it. But they say that they're not. I don't feel like you get a straight sort of answer from this person. It's almost like, should we be in a relationship? And the other person sort of worms around it and maybe makes excuses. And doesn't actually give you a straight answer. That's what I feel from this. And I think that you're genuinely convinced that, you know, this person, it says calling in a soulmate, and I think that you really do feel a soul connection with this person. And again, past life relationship connection with this person. But also this may be somebody that you've been on and off with, where either waiting for commitment to come through or we're offering commitment and it's just, there's no straight answer. And maybe you feel like you're being run round in circles. And I just feel at this point, Spirit's basically saying, look, it might not be worth the risk. It might not be worth taking that leap of faith. Maybe it's time to let this go. I always say put a time limit on it, and I feel like the number 3 and 4 really is significant. So maybe give it 3 or 4 months, and if nothing's improved by then, get rid. Right. Moving on, let's do Gemini. So, Gemini are dealing with water signs. Gemini dealing with water signs. So, 3 here. I've got the 9 of Pentacles reversed with the 8 of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. One more for Gemini. And the 5 of Swords reversed. Right, let's see. You deserve love. You are lovable. And children. Okay. So for some of you that are dealing with water signs, we may be wanting commitment with someone for the wrong reasons. Okay. I've got the 9 of Pentacles reversed, and it is that fear of being on your own. And then with the Page of Pentacles, it's that we're waiting for something. We're just waiting, even if it's a small gesture, we're just waiting for something to say that this can move into commitment. And I just feel like you're absolutely convinced it's worth it. And maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe, it's basically what Spirit's saying is, despite how the dynamic is between you and this water sign, it seems like you may be wanting it for the wrong reasons. And obviously something's missing here. So they're basically saying, can we take a step back and really evaluate exactly what it is that you want? You know, you deserve love, granted, but maybe we're taking a bit of an immature approach to this and doing this for the wrong reasons. You know, maybe you don't know this person well enough and you're already thinking that they're your soulmate and you know, you want to have lots of sex and babies and get married. Again, Spirit's just saying there's an unrealistic view here as to why some of you want to be with this person, and you just need to take a step back and figure out what's missing here. Before we end up starting a relationship built on a false foundation. You know, the last thing you guys need to see at this point is the Tower. So again, it's just saying, can we take a better view of this? And for others of you, maybe, you know, maybe there's children involved and it's gotten a bit messy on that front as well. So it's for Gemini's dealing with water. Let's take a look at Gemini's dealing with earth signs. So Gemini's dealing with earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I've got the 2 of Pentacles reversed with the Page of Wands. Oop, excuse me, the Hierophant reversed. And Temperance. Okay. I've got the Attraction card. One more, please. And Retreat. Right, I think that for some of you, dealing with, if you're dealing with an earth sign, I think that you, either you or them have pulled back from something here. I feel like there was definitely a mutual attraction between you two, but I feel like there was no commitment, and it was probably because somebody was juggling or had taken on more than they can handle. Maybe they just weren't ready for a relationship, and I feel like that's why they retreated. The thing is, I do get a funny feeling that somebody may try to apologise for this and maybe even make amends for it. I feel with the Page of Wands, a lot of people read it differently, but for me, I always see it as offering an olive branch, and in other words, I feel like it's making amends for a shitty situation. And like I say, I've definitely got mutual attraction here, but I just feel like that balance needs to be found between you two to come to an agreement. You know, if somebody wants to make amends for something, you know, and as I suppose in a way, if you're not declared as exclusive, then it's not technically cheating. But yes, somebody may have led someone on here. You know, and that is shitty in itself, and I suppose in a way it's up to the other as to whether they accept that level of apology. I get a funny feeling though at the point that this comes back around, some of you guys are going to be retreating from it and saying hell to the fucking no, despite the attraction. But it does say on it, it says you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And I feel like that's what this person was doing. They were just trying to enjoy themselves, and maybe this went a little bit further than it should have. I just feel someone apologising for that. And like I spoke about before, Mercury retrograde, you get loads of shit coming back around, especially unfinished business, and you know, maybe this apology is just a part of that. Right, Gemini's dealing with fire signs. Gemini's dealing with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. I've got the Tower, the King of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So this to me looks like a broken down relationship or a broken down dynamic. It was built on false foundation. It will crumbling anyway. Spirit's saying let it crumble. If you want to rebuild with either this person or with somebody new, it has to be on a clean, fresh foundation. Okay? And it is good, you know, it's sort of, I've got the Flirt card. And I've also got the Playfulness card. So this to me looks like one person's going into this for a bit of fun, a bit of friendly flirting, bit of playfulness, maybe even just a, you know, sex buddy kind of thing, and the others took it too far. Again, I just feel like we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be realistic about exactly what this was. Because I think some of you are dealing with someone who not only didn't let you know where you stand, but was never really clear on what they wanted. And I feel like they're using that as an excuse to justify what they've done. At the end of the day, someone's feeling led on and the other person feels like they shouldn't have to take responsibility for this. If it's crumbling and falling apart, Spirit's basically saying let it. Something better is going to come along eventually. But you do need to protect yourself a little bit better moving down the line from this kind of shitty kind of behaviour. Maybe set the bar a bit higher as well. Improve thy standards. Right. Gemini's dealing with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Gemini's dealing with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. I've got the Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. The Star reversed. And the Two of Cups. Come on, a bit further. And the Page of Cups. Right, so express your love. And I've also got stay optimistic. So, I think if you're dealing with fire, Gemini, I think for some of you, a relationship's about to happen or it's already established. But it's become stagnant and we're lacking optimism. The thing is with the Star in the reverse, there is hope, but you're just not seeing it. It's pessimism. And that's why we have the Stay Optimistic card. I think this is about restoring confidence in this partnership. And I think either you or them need to take a step back to figure out. But I just want to point out, we have a Star in the reverse, so this is pessimism. The Hermit carries the Star in his lantern. You know, if you look back to the Rider-Waite imagery, the Hermit carries the Star in his lantern. He's looking for hope. He's figuring out his hopes, his dreams, his wishes, his goals, his desires, and how he can go about achieving that. And in this case, it's about either creating or making better a relationship, okay, a union. And also restoring confidence, because the wheel stopped turning. And we're starting to lose hope. And I think that in order to express love, we have to start looking on the bright side of this. So I'm clearly looking at a dynamic here, or a relationship with problems on someone's part, and they just need a little bit of time to absolutely make sure this is right for them. And I think that they do come to the conclusion this is right for them. For others, I've got a partnership dynamic where one has delved into pessimism. They're very moody, very grumpy, very pessimistic about everything, and the other's had enough of it. Again, I just see someone taking a step back to really figure out if this is what they want or how they can make it better. I'm not actually seeing the end of a relationship. The Two of Cups is in the upright. I'm definitely seeing someone who really genuinely wants to fix this or make it happen. But obviously they're just trying to sift through these problems, looking for solutions, and they just need a bit of breathing space in order to do that, okay? But I do think that there is love there, or at least love growing. So, Gemini's dealing with other air signs. Gemini's dealing with other air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I've got the Three of Swords reversed with the Page of Wands. The Eight of Swords reversed with the Nine of Cups. And I've got very soon, clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. So I think for Gemini's dealing with their air signs, again, I think someone's trying to make amends for a broken heart. I think this is about acknowledgement, if I'm perfectly honest, which actually helps you get out of your head a little bit, and restores emotional stability. Because I actually think that you may be dealing with someone who actually has or does make you happy, but they clearly fucked up in a big way. And because the Three of Swords is reversed, this is someone who left quite a mark on you, quite a nasty bruise. Could be third party, but you know, not necessarily. It could just be that someone's either done something or said something out of line, and it's really hurt the other. Again, I just feel like all that someone wants is an apology, and I think if you ask for the apology, you're going to get it. Again, clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. If you want this to be fixed, I think it can. If you want an apology, I think you get one. Okay? Right then, let's move on. Last but not least, Aquarius. So, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising Aquarius. Dealing with water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. So, Aquarius dealing with Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Five of Wands. The Two of Wands. The King of Wands. And the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, I think for some Aquarians that are dealing with water signs, there's this big sort of internal debate going on as to whether or not we make a move towards this person. And I think that for some of you, you're reluctant to do that because there may be competition. So this person may be entertaining others. Spirit's Basic just saying maybe you're going into this for the wrong reasons. I hate the Nine of Pentacles reverse. It's that fear of being on your own. And for some of you, you're actually starting to ponder whether or not you should make a move towards this person. Not caring that they may be seeing other people. It just feels, you know, I think some of you need to set the bar a bit higher. The past life relationship, so again, this could feel like a past life soul connection relationship, or this is someone that you've been on and off with. I've got healing family issues. This is less about healing family issues, more about just healing issues with you from within. I hate this card so much because this tells me if somebody is going to get into a relationship just because they don't want to be on their own, for one, they've got dependent issues, and for two, this is someone who feels so low about themselves they actually think that they deserve nothing better than bullshit. And I think for some of you just need a reality check. Why on earth entertain someone when you absolutely know you're going to be in competition with other people vying for their attention? No, it shouldn't be that way around. You should be in the middle with everybody else vying for your attention. Let's start upping the bar and the ante on this. You can do better. Heal those issues, seriously. Right, Aquarians dealing with earth signs. Aquarians dealing with earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So I've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed with the Four of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. So yeah, earth written all over this. 2 here. The Death card, the Five of Pentacles reversed, and the Magician reversed. Right, if some of you are wanting to get back with an ex, maybe you're thinking about offering commitment, ain't going to be accepted. I'm just going to level with you. But this could be on the flip side. It could be vice versa, but I'm just going to read it from that perspective. I think that maybe you've been dealing with an earth sign that may have been a little bit flirtatious, and maybe we're starting to read into this again. I've got keep an open mind. Your soulmate's going to differ from usual type and expectations. Again, I think Aquarians that are dealing with earth signs just need to be told to set the bar a bit higher and don't make yourself look stupid. In terms of chasing somebody here who, for one, is running you around in circles, and for two, giving you the wrong impression. I think that we're hanging on to somebody here who does not want to commit. Either you've already been with them and broke up, or there's never been commitment in the first place, but we're still hanging on. This is the miser card. This is the hang on card. And death. There's been an end to this already. And we're on about trying to come back around after we've shut them out. It's not going to manifest the same. So you do need to start setting the bar a little bit higher and stop going back to the past. Keep an open mind. Now, this is a good indication to say that this could be your incentive, really, to say that, look, the minute you clear your energy, you're more than likely going to meet a soulmate, because that's the way the universe works. You know, spirit, the universe, the divine source, whatever you want to call it, has a path, has a soulmate on our path. You know, we're going to meet many throughout our lives. Some come in the form of family, some friends, some, you know, what we would call now dickheads that we've been in the past that have screwed us over, but there was a soul connection there, and you're wondering why on earth. It's because there were lessons to be learned, which is 9 times out of 10 the case. But they're basically saying, look, there's no way in the earth they're going to deliver us, you know, they're going to sort of release the energy and put a soulmate on your direct path if you're not ready for it. The only way that that's going to happen is if they send you yet another lesson to be learned, because you haven't learned the lesson that were there to be learned in the first place. Some of you really do need to just accept the end and stop trying to manifest this. It's literally like trying to draw blood from a stone at this point, they're saying. Okay, right. So, moving on. Aquarians dealing with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aquarians dealing with fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sag. So I've got strength reversed with the Knight of Cups. I've got the 9 of Swords. The 7 of Wands reversed with the 10 of Wands. 3 guys, a romance angel. Freeze him. Absolutely. Absolutely, Aquarius. So if you're dealing with a fire sign, I think you're dealing with someone who's a little bit smug, a little bit of a show-off, maybe even a little bit egotistical. Strength's reversed, so we've got a case of somebody with pride in the way. So they could be very self-centred and think something big of themselves. And I think that you see past this. But your spirit's just basically doubling on your own gut feeling and intuition there to say, free yourself from this and clear that bloody energy, because this person's very stressful, and you know, at this point it's probably best to give up before you start building a rod for your own back. It really is that simple, because it's fire. It could be a Leo. Right. Last but not least, Aquarians dealing with other air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Aquarians dealing with other air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. The Hermit. The Six of Wands and the King of Swords reversed. Pay attention to the red flags that sounds cautioning you. I think for Aquarians that are dealing with other air signs, I think that you may be paying someone too much attention that just doesn't seem to be focused. And maybe you feel like you're being lied to. And again, we're sort of paying attention to those red flags. And some of you may not be entirely sure what to do about it. Do we wait? Is this really what's happening? Or I think it's just basically saying, look, don't even ponder this. Don't even put yourself in a position to ponder this. It's not worth it at all. There's no focus. There's a lot of insecurity. Well, it's making you insecure. And there's this blatant lack of honesty and also perspective on this situation. You know, I think just, again, you're just paying someone way too much attention that is really lapping that attention up and not prepared to give anything else. It's like they like the attention from you, but they ain't giving it back to you. So I think at this point, you're sort of seeing these red flags, you're seeing someone's true colours, and you're like, oh, is this really the way it is? Should I just hang on a little bit longer? Spirit's saying, absolutely not. Okay, I'm finally done. I'm finally done. I've done all 12 of you 4 times over. Right then, if anyone wants personal reading, feel free to email me. My email's at the bottom of the screen as always. I wish you guys all the best during the Valentine's Day period. Take care, bye for now.